This video will show you some possibilities of the specialist paints and coating systems available from Igoe International, including but not limited to oil-based, water-based, epoxies, urethanes, crackle effect, specialist coatings for walls, floors, countertops, all sorts, timber, metal, beautiful designs and specialist coatings with specialist effects, only available from Igoe International.
In this video, we will explain to you all the basics on how to process epoxy resin. How deep can I pour? How long does it take for the resin to cure? When will the resin gelify? And when should I draw my patterns in? All these questions cannot be answered in a general way because the maximum pouring height, as well as the processing and curing time, are influenced by the reactivity of the epoxy resin system, the casting volume, in other words, the pouring height and area, as well as the temperature. All three factors mutually affect each other. When mixing the resin and hardener together, both components react with each other. The reaction generates heat, which of course heats up the mixture. The heating of the mixture is necessary for it to cure. The pouring height is limited by the intensity of the reaction. If the mixture gets too hot, it can boil, turn yellow, and even crack. The more reactive the epoxy resin system, the lower the pouring height or thickness per casting. The three factors influence the working and curing times in a similar way to the pouring height. Reactive epoxy resin systems such as the Eco and Pro systems cure faster, but therefore only have short processing time. The lower the casting volume and temperature, the longer the processing and curing time. In the same way, the processing and curing time is shorter if the casting volume and temperature are higher. The three factors already start to influence each other in the mixing jug. After mixing 100 grams of resin and hardener, the ecosystem starts to gelify after approximately 25 minutes at 20 degrees Celsius, meaning it has the consistency of a gel. This time frame is called the pot life. If you mix 10 kilograms of the ecosystem or increase the temperature, the system will react within a few minutes, which could lead to curing inside the mixing jug. That's why we recommend, when using a reactive epoxy resin system, to pour the mixture onto the surface to be coated immediately after mixing. This prevents a precipitated reaction and shortened processing and curing time. You should always consider all three factors in order to control the reaction. The more you experiment with epoxy resin, the more you should be familiar with the epoxy resin system you are using. For example, if you are working with color pigments and would like to draw patterns, it is important that you control the gelling time in order for the drawn patterns not to fade and the color pigments not to sink. The gelling time depends on the three factors as well as on how much time the mixture is spent inside the mixing jug. If you are working with a reactive epoxy resin system, such as the Eco or Pro system, the gelling time will usually be within the first 2 hours after mixing. Depending on the casting volume and the temperature, we recommend drawing your patterns at regular intervals as long as the mixture can be processed. This way, you'll be sure to get the desired pattern. Most epoxy resin should be applied above 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, because the mixture can not only overheat, but it can also be too cold and not cure completely. This is especially true if you are applying thin coats and are working with unreactive systems. Always consider the room temperature as well as the components and substrate temperature. If the room temperature is right, but the components are too cold, the mixture won't be able to fully chemically cure. This could lead to problems such as water sensitivity, easy marking under pressure, and high scratch sensitivity. To control the reaction, you should always consider all three factors: the epoxy resin's reactivity, the casting volume, and the temperature in relation with one another.
Owatrol aluminium RA85. It's an aluminium finish that will stick to all surfaces. For example, plastic, concrete, wood, aluminium, steel. That's just one coat. Even polystyrene. Normally that would make the polystyrene melt, a lot of paint would. This shows the RA85 aluminium on a piece of plastic shopping bag, just one coat. No peeling. Normally paint will just simply peel off plastic immediately. Here you can do that hundreds of times, no peeling. Textrol is ideal for all decking, cabins, playground equipment, cladding, garden furniture, etc. There's another choice available also called Owatrol Aquadex, a hugely popular, easy to apply, longest lasting finish for all wood, including new outdoor, indoor, many colours to choose from. Next, if you require a deep penetrating oil finish, go for Dexolia D1. Used alone, it gives you a natural satin finish. D1 is used all over the world on boats and cruise liners. Should you require a flexible high gloss finish, choose Dexolia D2. D2 will not peel or flake when used in conjunction with the Dexolia D1.
is sometimes difficult to paint on very smooth surfaces. We'll show you that with Owatrol products there is always a solution. ESP is ideal for adhering paint to smooth, non-porous surfaces like ceramics, glass, paint, tiles, laminate, plastic. Apply ESP with a brush and after a few minutes of drying, wipe off excess with a cloth. Paint may be applied after 2 hours or up to 7 days later. It adheres strongly and immediately to the surface. Its unique colourless formula allows you to give a new look to the base of this lamp. Apply a tinted varnish and you will keep the original surface textured. ESP, the solution to easily give a new look. There is always a solution with Owatrol.
When you want your water-based paints to stick tight to your walls, etc. with no flaking or peeling, always add Owatrol EB. Owatrol EB is a powerful stir-in bonding primer suitable for all water-based paints for both internal and external applications. Simply mix in Owatrol EB into your first coat of paint and none into your second coat of paint. This will ensure excellent adhesion and aesthetics for years to come. Simple and effective. Typical examples of this would be wall cappings and windowsills are extremely prone to flaking paint and delamination of paint or coatings. These problems are almost impossible to solve using traditional methods. However, use Owatrol EB in the first coat of paint and none in the second, and your windowsill paint job, etc. will last for years. Owatrol EB added to the first coat only of any water-based paint will last for years and alleviate all peeling and flaking paint problems. Owatrol EB works by penetrating deep into the substrate or surface. Here is a typical example of Owatrol EB where you can see the penetrating and gripping power on a piece of paper in comparison to a traditional off-the-shelf paint. Here is an example of an old building which had many long-standing issues with regards to ugly peeling paint always coming off the wall, to the frustration of the building owner. The problem was very real and the solution was simple. This job was done over 15 years ago and today still stands proud with a perfect paint job and zero peeling or flaking paint, showing you the long-term benefits and cost effectiveness of adding Owatrol EB to the first coat of any water-based paint. In the long term, Owatrol EB in the first coat of paint is far more effective and cost effective than multiple paint jobs over the years. Owatrol EB can also be used internally and externally. It can be used on floors, walls and ceilings, etc. You can use Owatrol EB for a whole host of other applications, including successful jobs on MDF, timber, OSB, plywood. It can be used on windowsills, walls, floors, drives, internal or external, pebble dash walls and patio slabs, etc. Here is an example of one with the before, during and after. So whenever you want your water-based paints to stick, use Owatrol EB. For questions and information, contact owatrol.ie.